paid good money to see this movie. When they go out to a theater, they want cold sodas, hot popcorn, and no monsters in the projection booth.
Everyone pretend podcasting isn't boring.
Turn it off. Turn it off.
I miss being part of a team. Y'all remember Aqua Team?
Frylock is dead to me. I'll never speak with him again.
Sure you're up for this, Phoenix?
I live on a for 15 years, man.
This thing, Aqua Teen, we're in this for life. No one just walks away.
We're back.
You're welcome.
Here at Amazing, we're all one big happy family. So let's roll up our sleeves and get down to business, or you're dead.
We got help!
Form of a hot dog! Form of an igloo!
Form into a frickin' weed whacker!
I look crazy, man.
The crazier you look, the smarter Wall Street thinks you are.
The do you want?
Your foot cancer.
I got me foot cancer.
You ain't got no feet.
Not anymore.
Again they fall, again they crawl, again we ball. Shake, fry, me against them all.
It's time to nip some plants in the bud.
Oh, I hate doing yard work!
Time for me to hit the hay!
Operation Master Shake and Bake.
Just bend over and pick it up.
Aqua Teen Forever, Plantasm. Own it November 8th on digital 4K and Blu-ray.
Oh, this should be good. Someone make popcorn.
Hey folks, welcome to a special episode of The Projection Booth. I'm your host, Mike White. On this episode, I am talking with Dave Willis and Matt Miliarno all about their new movie, Aqua Teen Forever, Plantasm. The name of the movie is Plantasm, not Plantgasm, as I made the mistake of saying. I think the interview was already off the rails before I made that mistake, and it just kind of continued from there. So, hope you can find some pleasure out of this. Enjoy.
Hey.
Thank you, gentlemen, for being on the call today. I appreciate this.
Yeah, thank you. We're excited to be here.
I think we have a mutual friend in Jay Edwards.
All right.
Frylock's roommate. I'm waiting for Jay to come back.
Oh, that's right. That's right. He wasn't he?
When he got kicked.
Yeah, Jay was a rich character, just rich in potential for all sorts of spinoffs, and we want to pitch that show. Jay, just the letter.
Oh, there you go. I can see the logo now.
It comes on like the thing, like John Carpenter's The Thing, burns into the screen, and then you start hearing dun dun, and we cut to a dog, but that's not Jay. That's Jay's dog. He's searching for him in the snow.
This is shaping up.
Has it been bitten? We don't know that yet. Let's find out tonight on HBO Max.
Well, thank you so much for your time today. I am excited to talk to you about Plantgasm. I'm curious.
Plantgasm. You didn't even get the title right. But I like that title better.
I think it's a better title.
Plantgasm. Plantgasm.
I think you should think about changing the title. So how did Plantasm come about?
Warner Brothers called us up over the pandemic and said, nobody can get together to shoot live action. Will you make another Aqua Teen movie?
Wow.
And we said yes. No, they didn't say it quite like that. I think that's what they meant, but I think that what they said was like, Aqua Teen has the potential to be our next Bugs Bunny in the next millennium. Will you make another movie? That's what they said. They thought they hung up, and they were like, they said yes. This is the biggest thing ever. It's going to be huge. And Dave and I were still on the phone. They hadn't actually hung up the phone. We're still talking about making an Aqua Teen ride. They will need a park to do that. We just wanted to do a ride that we would just bring out to like abandoned malls, parking lot, old schools. Yeah. We'd get the trailers to put it on and tow it behind our cars and then hook it up. Hire local reprobates and meth addicts to run it. Just one lever, and it just runs you right into a wall. Yeah, really fast.
So did I read right that Aqua Teen has just been re-upped for, did I read a 12th season?
That is correct. Although I feel like we've done more seasons than 12, but yes.
A mini season. It's a Louis Bouche. 5 episodes. A little micro mini season.
Yeah, it feels like you guys have been on the air for so many years. I mean, when did you start with Aqua Teen?
2000. 99, actually, we started making it. But 2000 it premiered, I think. Yeah.
And you've done so many shows as well as doing Aqua Teen.
Yeah, and while doing Aqua Teen, exactly. Yeah, or many hats.
Yep.
Did Family Guy and Simpsons.
I remember Squidbillies for sure.
Law and Order. Oh yeah,
yeah.
Squidbillies.
Yeah, I remember all the animated episodes of Law and Order were really good, especially when Meatwad was the prosecuting attorney.
I do the Morris. It's real transition.
So, did you do the entire movie remotely?
Yes, we did. We even wrote the movie remotely on the phone. Yeah.
That must have been a really different process for you as far as because I know you're usually together when you do the ideation of stuff.
Well, for everything. But yeah, it was different. And I think the hardest part was not being able to sit with the people who were editing, because it's just so much more efficient sitting there with them and making instant adjustments. But,
instead of writing out your opinions longhand.
You weren't even doing that via Zoom or something?
Yeah, and sometimes you just do it on this thing called Frame.io where you just write notes on it. But fortunately, we had just a ton of original people, not just the cast. We had guys that animated on the first episode, like Matt Jenkins worked on it, and Greg Hartman, who runs Bento Box Atlanta, worked. So it was a lot of the original people that were there at the beginning. So it wasn't as daunting because everybody kind of knew their role and knew how to, all of our long-term editors worked on it. Ned Hastings and
Jay Edwards, even. Jay was our first editor ever for the show.
Yeah. So it wasn't too bad. Everybody knew what they were doing.
I love the movie, by the way. It was nice to catch up with them where they're at now. And the obvious swipes at Elon, now more pointed than ever.
Yeah, we're a little ahead of things, I think, with him. I guess he's become more public since we started making that thing.
We'll talk more about it when we win the Oscar for it, which that's coming up in March.
Yes, we have our speech. We have our speech ready. We'll have a little barbs in our speech. You'll hear. Mm-hmm. We'll hear in March.
So you said this started during the pandemic, but the pandemic was so long. When did you actually start work on it?
I think we started in December of the pandemic.
Okay.
Wasn't it?
So 2020?
There was no pandemic. Do you mind if I digress for a bit? No, but we made it in a year less. We made it in a year. I wasn't keeping track. I lost track of time during the pandemic.
I bet.
As many of us did. But I want to say we made it in a year.
Right. We did. We started writing it in February of 21. It was right at a year. So maybe just over a year. We're the fastest and best animators and storytellers in animation
in the West.
Well, you must have it down to kind of a science now, and then it's all animated on computers rather than traditional cell animation, correct?
By computers, okay. AI computers. Yes, we just turn them on and they go. We boarded this. This is the first time we've ever boarded anything. That's crazy, right? Yeah, we made the show for 15 years with this weird, outdated, makeshift way of making stuff, and this was boarded for the first time. And we kind of have our own little ramshackle process as a little garage bandy type of thing. Even today, Matt and I will write scripts that are 19 pages long, and we always get notes from everybody. It's this is too long for a quarter hour. We just we know what we're doing. Just let us throw a bunch of stuff out there. It's just not how other people make cartoons, but who cares? This is how we make this, and we like what we're doing, and we know how we're doing it, and it's our own thing. I think our scripts are pretty tight, and we have the beats, but we all go in there, and Matt will throw out ideas, and I'll make up stuff, and Dana will add his own, Kerry will add his own polish. The editors will kind of hone stuff and we'll keep the best jokes. And sometimes the best jokes were created on that day instead of, written. It just grows and changes in a way that I think I've seen other cartoons. I feel like the script is a pretty tight blueprint for what it should be. And I think our process maybe open up for more crazy stuff to happen along the way.
Right.
Yeah, we're a lot looser with this stuff where the other ones are real regimented.
Do you ever have sequences that get animated and then end up getting cut out?
Never. No, everything we animate gets put in. Like for the movie, we didn't have enough time and money to really over animate because of the boarding process and the schedule. I think we cut very little out of that movie. We made trims to dialogue and stuff, but if it's going to get animated, you better be using it because it's kind of a waste to throw it out. Whereas the first movie, there must be 20 minutes of deleted scenes because we did so much stuff, but it wasn't really animated when we were doing it. It was like, it was in the storyboard, the old way we used to put together the film.
We were contracted to make a 75-minute movie. Ordinarily, if you see that a movie is 75 minutes, you're like, oof, well, this must suck so bad. The editor was like, can I cut this? Can I cut this? Can I cut this? Whereas this, like, God, sometimes I just find myself watching movies that are just like, oh, thank God it's an hour and a half. I really don't want to watch 40 minutes of Jonah Hill's bloopers like in a Judd Apatow, like every movie's Cannonball Run. Let's take all the bloopers at the end credits and actually put them in the movie. And let's just really stretch it out. And you're just like, I just want to see something fun and tight. Like The Fly. I watched The Fly again last night because it was an hour and a half.
Fun.
And it's awesome. Fun movie. Like, yeah.
It's funny and the jokes are great. When she gives birth to that maggot, it's like
when he vomits on the guy's ankle, we should do an homage to that.
Yeah.
But funny.
Well, fellas, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate this. I hope we can do this again sometime and talk a little bit longer.
All right. Yeah, we'll do it tomorrow. All right. Thanks. Thank you.
All right. It sounds good. I'll talk to you then.
Aqua Teen. Shake Zula, the mic ruler, the old schooler. You want a trip? I'll bring it to ya.